watching WBZ, New England's Channel 4. Next on Eyewitness News.
After the death of her grandfather, police don't know what happened to a 12-year-old Mattapan girl. A night of violence rocked Boston overnight, with victims' relatives crying out for answers.
He didn't bother nobody. He didn't hurt nobody.
And in a cruel twist of fate, tornadoes deal another deadly blow to Florida.
Now, live, this is Eyewitness News Nightcast.
Good evening, I'm Casey Kaufman. Boston police are asking for your help tonight in trying to find a 12-year-old girl missing since early this morning. According to police, Takesha McNichols' grandfather was found dead this morning on Nightingale Street in Roxbury. Authorities have ruled his death a homicide, and they don't know what happened to Takesha.
Mr. McNichols had last been seen at about 2:10 this morning when he left in his 1989 Chevy Celebrity to bring his 12-year-old granddaughter to her home in Mattapan. Neither the car nor the granddaughter, Takesha McNichols, have been seen since that time, and the Boston Police Department shares the concern of the family as to the well-being of the little girl.
Authorities say Tom McNichols was taking his granddaughter home to Mattapan early this morning after taking care of her. When they left, Takesha and her grandfather drove off in a white 1989 Chevy Celebrity with a mass plate number 262 TPI. If anyone has seen this car, you're asked to call Boston Police. The murder of Tom McNichols is just part of a very violent night in Boston, one of the worst in recent memory. Eyewitness News reporter Mike Macklin says 3 other people were murdered in the city last night, and today, victims' relatives were asking themselves why.
He didn't deserve to be, he did not deserve to die.
Comforted by a friend, Sonia Price stood on the spot where her 20-year-old husband Roosevelt died after he and his 21-year-old brother Ronald were fatally shot in Roxbury early this morning. Roosevelt Price married Sonia just 1 year ago. The couple had a 2-month-old son.
He didn't bother nobody. He didn't hurt nobody. He's just a father with a family, okay? And I loved him very much.
Roosevelt and Ronald Price were gunned down about a block from where their mother lives here in the Orchard Park housing development. Today, on her birthday, their mother remained in seclusion, mourning the deaths of her sons.
We have very strong leads on one of these homicides. And what we're saying is we believe, perhaps before this day is over, we may have some results.
Boston Police Commissioner Francis Roach met with reporters in the wake of one of Boston's most violent nights. It began shortly after 10 o'clock when 3 young men were shot on Humboldt Avenue in Roxbury in what police are calling a drive-by shooting.
Young people were set upon by an opposing group, and it appears that they used automatic weapons. And as a result of that, 1 person is now dead, and 2 others were wounded.
18-year-old Tyrone Barnes died of a gunshot wound to the chest. 2 friends in their 20s, Troy Jenkins and Ramal Glover, survived. Anthony Smalls was a friend of the dead teen.
For this to be happening to him is tragic for everybody. I mean, they're holding on the best way they could, especially his father, to be his only son.
Police say it's a miracle Tyrone Barnes' 2 companions didn't die along with him. Investigators recovered 14 spent shells and say one of the victims managed to survive despite being shot 7 times.
Mike Macklin, TV4 Eyewitness News, Nightcast.
Jurors in the trial of former Boston police officer James Hall resumed deliberations on Monday after working all day today without reaching a verdict. The jury began its deliberations yesterday. Hall is charged with 2nd-degree murder in the shooting of 16-year-old Christopher Rogers in Dorchester last year. Hall was on the force at the time, but was later fired for misconduct in an unrelated case. Tonight, residents near Tampa, Florida say it looks like a bomb exploded in their neighborhood. It wasn't a bomb, but a string of powerful tornadoes that ripped through the area, killing at least 4 people. All of the deaths occurred in a mobile home park in Largo. Some of the victims were crushed when their mobile homes broke apart in 90-mile-per-hour winds. Survivors are counting their blessings.
Both fell to the floor. Everything on top of it. Glass. Really unbelievable.
A motel on Treasure Island was torn apart, frightened guests huddled in their rooms.
Then I turned around and walked back to the door, and that time I said, get down! And we got down and got between the beds, and every room in this motel is damaged except the room we was in.
It's another bad blow to Florida, still reeling from the effects of Hurricane Andrew. President Bush toured that area today. A major step today in the presidential campaign when both George Bush and Bill Clinton agreed to meet in a series of nationally televised debates.
I look forward going head in head with Governor Clinton and Ross Perot, and I'm especially pleased that Americans will be able to compare our ideas side by side without any media filter and get the facts and the truth to the American people.
And I can say to George Bush, meet me in St. Louis.
The first meeting will be in St. Louis a week from tomorrow with a panel of questioners the way Bush wanted. The three vice presidential candidates will meet in Atlanta 2 days later. Clinton gets his way the 15th when there will be a single moderator in Richmond. There also will be questions from the audience. The final debate in East Lansing will feature a mixed format. As Clinton worked the crowd at a farmer's market in St. Louis, he downplayed the importance of his Oxford education or Bush's Yale training in the debates.
The issue is not whether he's a good debater or not. It's whether he has a good record and a good vision. And the answer to that is no.
Before the president left the campaign trail to cram for the debate, he blitzed Florida, a state that should be a Republican stronghold, but now is too close to call. During a stop in a homestead tent city, he promised more aid to victims of Hurricane Andrew. And at a gathering of retirees in Clearwater, he denied a Clinton claim that Bush intends to cut Medicare.
Governor Clinton's a very ambitious politician, that's fine. But in his first try on the national scene, he's using the oldest trick in the world, trying to scare America's seniors.
Both Bush and Clinton also said they will welcome Ross Perot to the debates. As for Perot, the second day into his second campaign, he took the day off. The president has set up more confrontation with Congress by vetoing a bill to regulate cable TV prices. Bush charges the bill would result in higher cable fees rather than lower, and he accused Congress of falling prey to special interests. The bill passed both houses by wide margins. And we have more news ahead for you tonight on NICAST. The situation gets a bit tense in Germany today as the nation marks the second anniversary of reunification. Christopher Columbus is on trial in San Francisco for crimes against humanity. We'll tell you about the case. And later in sports, they didn't win, they didn't lose, and they're still undefeated. Bob Newmeyer has the Eagles story in West Virginia.
Here's the Volkswagen Passat GL. It comes with power steering, four-wheel disc brakes, room for 5, air, stereo cassette, plus optional power sunroof. And a special lease price of $249 a month. But here's the catch. The $249 lease offer ends soon. There you go.
Now, Mr. Fidelford, we'll talk about the painting.
Okay.
Now, first, the living room. I want it to be a soft green.
Uh-huh.
Not as blue-green as a robin's egg.
No.
But not as yellow-green as daffodil buds.
No.
It should just be a sort of grayish-yellow green.
Uh-huh.
Benjamin Moore knows how important it is to get it just right. That's why we work so hard to help you create a look that's simply brilliant every time. Benjamin Moore, a stroke of brilliance.
After all the noise, there's one company who's making long distance simple. Because any way you look at it, AT&T gives you competitive prices. Count on it. Call for call, place for place. After 5, you won't pay more than 15 cents a minute. And most of the time, even less. So now that price isn't the real issue, what should you think about? Remember service, quality?
Hi, that a girl.
Look at the big picture.
Eyewitness News continues with Casey Kaufman.
A bloody riot in Brazil's largest prison has left more than 100 inmates dead. The trouble started last night when rival gangs started a fight in a recreational area and then spread to cells where inmates armed themselves with homemade knives, pipes, and guns seized from guards. It took 3 hours to put down the riot. An American plane carrying badly needed food finally landed in Sarajevo after a month-long suspension of relief flights to the Bosnian capital. But the effort was suspended again because of bad weather. Relief officials fear a bad winter could claim tens of thousands of lives in what was Yugoslavia if the supplies of food, fuel, and materials to repair damaged homes can't get through. Well, Germany is celebrating the second anniversary of reunification, but the recent rise of neo-Nazism dampened the celebrations. One demonstrator accosted Chancellor Helmut Kohl as he left church services. An angry Kohl stopped to shout down the demonstrator. Other German officials were pelted with eggs. Several protesters were arrested. As the anniversary of Christopher Columbus's arrival to the New World nears, some Native Americans are staging a mock trial in protest. The trial began Thursday in San Francisco. The purpose of the trial is to raise the age-old question of how could Columbus discover a nation with 11 million people already living there? Organizers say they'll present documented evidence dating back 500 years, which they say shows the U.S. government's role in committing systematic genocide and other crimes against humanity. On October 12th, Columbus Day, the panel will render its verdict. A Boston College priest is celebrating tonight. He spent the last 50 years as a Jesuit. About 200 people helped celebrate with Father Francis Mackin tonight at Boston College. Father Mackin grew up in Newton and became a Jesuit in 1942.
50 years have just flown by. I suppose if you're happy in what you're doing, time flies. So it seems to me I haven't changed. Inside, you're always the same. So I feel just the same.
Before coming to Boston College, Father Mackin was a pastor at St. Ignatius Church, and he was also provost at Fordham University in New York. Our congratulations goes out to him. What a day for a celebration and for just about anything. Beautiful day.
It's going to be tough to beat, and we won't beat it at all because it's going to be a lot cooler tomorrow. A cool ocean breeze rolling in, but at least we'll have some sunshine most of the day.
It is fall, after all.
It sure is.
Forecast with Barry Burbank is coming up next.
A chain of violence has been tightening its grip in our neighborhoods. It's a chain that spans generations and affects so many of us, but it's gone far enough. Some have broken this chain of family violence, and Eyewitness News' Liz Walker will show you how.
You can not only survive, but you can absolutely thrive.
Domestic Violence, A Call for Help. Monday, October 12th at 6 on WBZ Channel 4. Eyewitness News, here for you.
What a race. First in the Far East, Middle East.
First in Europe and Africa. Yes! DHL's first worldwide.
An independent study proves DHL delivers packages around the world before either Federal Express or UPS. Research confirms DHL is faster to more of the world.
We're back live and still waiting for second place.
Oh, here they come now.
From now on, your Citibank Visa will have a few very distinctive features. Features nobody else's credit card will have. Your own. It's hard to picture any card more secure. Introducing the Citibank Photo Card. For your photo card, call 1-800-CITIBANK. Not just Visa, Citibank Visa.
If life didn't change so often, you wouldn't need a permanent phone number. Introducing AT&T Easy Reach 700 service, so the people you care about most can always reach you. Call toll-free today for your AT&T Easy Reach 700 number. Life changes. Your phone number doesn't have to.
Has the simple joy of driving become a casualty of the times? Introducing 200 turbocharged horses. Uncanny grace. And one of the safest cars Saab has ever built. The new 9000 CSE. A car you can drive hard with your conscience intact.
Where did the Red Sox go wrong? Sunday at 11:35.
Eyewitness News continues with Barry Burbank and New England's weather.
And welcome back, everybody. Let's take a look at the forecast for tonight. We do have some patchy clouds out there right now, but otherwise mostly clear for a good portion of the region. Breezy and turning a little bit cooler, but not cold. Lows 47 to 57 degrees from north to south. Winds will be going into the north shortly as the front comes down in the pre-dawn hours. So let's take a check as we look at the 11 o'clock numbers right now. And you see it's still fairly mild, 68 degrees in Boston, even up north, 59 in Concord, New Hampshire. But there was a weather front which has just gone by Portland, Maine, just past Concord, New Hampshire. We'll be settling southward during the night. Noticed out of 46 degrees in Burlington right now. And the dew point up to 52, but that'll be falling as well. The pressure will be rising. So let's take a look at the clouds in motion and see what's going on there. There is a front to the south. There is a disturbance which has been kicking off all that rain over the southeastern states and those destructive tornadoes in the middle part of the west central part of Florida during today. But what we have, the clouds coming up, it looks like they're going to come right up into New England. However, the jet stream is in a fashion like this. So they'll come up like this, they'll go sheared off the top of them, and they'll go sailing out south of us. So that's the way it looks right now. So we take a look and see what's happening here in terms of the weather, and we're looking at high pressure building to the north. We do have a cold front right through central New England, as pointed out just shortly, just a little while ago. We have the warm air which moved into New England during today. Boy, was it beautiful. 78 degrees in Boston for a high, but we have a high to the north of us, and that means the cool air will start coming right back in, and we're going to have a taste of chilly weather over the next few days. So let's see what's going to be happening with that rain coming up from here, but again, it's going to be sailing out to sea. So we take a look at the forecast for tomorrow. We'll have sunshine, 57 to 63, interior southern New England. There'll be a few clouds from time to time, and some up in the mountains, too, if you're planning to see that peak fall foliage, 46 to 54 there. The high tide is 6:14 in the morning. Looking at temperatures, zooming in on the zones, Boston south will be in the 50s near the coast, but lower 60s south-facing coastal locations towards Newport. Meantime, west of Boston, we're looking at temperatures mainly getting up to around 60 degrees, about 58 around the Merrimack Valley region to 63 down in Providence. And close to the coast, we will have readings in the upper 50s and mid-50s on the outer part of the Cape. Peak fall foliage up in here. Go take a look at it. It's really beautiful. 25 to 50% color extends down to the Berkshires. And as we recap and look ahead here, we're looking at sunshine for tomorrow, but not any readings in the 70s, certainly upper 50s and lower 60s. And then for Monday, some ocean clouds rolling in, cooler only in the lower 50s with that cool ocean breeze. Tuesday, fewer clouds, but still some around in the 50s. And then warming up for Wednesday, back to the 60s. So no rainstorms in sight for several days.
I'm heading to go apple picking tomorrow.
Should be a great day for that.
You want an apple pie?
I love apple pie.
Well,
Bring one in tomorrow
maybe
night.
I will. All right, Numi's here to tell us about, well, they didn't win, they didn't lose, but
they drew. They
okay.
tied. Yeah, and that was good because this was a first-rate team. West Virginia and BC, they have an excellent football team, and they proved it today with the tie.
Did they ever? Also in sports, veteran Red Sox announcer Ned Martin says he's out and not by his own choice. Numi's coming up next.
Here it is again.
Oh, it's so pretty.
Oh, look at this. They're showing the trunk now.
Yeah.
What's she going to do with those skis?
Those skis will not fit in there.
Hey, they fit.
The skis fit in the trunk.
Hey, buddy! We got a violation here.
What's the charge, Sarge?
This Encore lasagna. Too much food.
Too much Encore?
I can't finish those big helpings of delicious, meaty Encore lasagna by myself.
That's no crime. Encore's a 2-pound family-size entree.
I don't have a family.
You do now. Mine will be over at 5:30 tonight.
Al, listen, about this Encore veal parmesan.
6 tomorrow. You serve.
We're tasting more, it's Encore.
It said he is to computer software what Thomas Edison is to the light bulb. The software Bill Gates developed runs 75% of the computers in the world. And on the day he turned 36, his company, Microsoft, was bigger than Xerox, Kodak, and McDonald's. Where in today's world do you find companies capable of such astonishing growth? Actually, there's a list of them printed every day. NASDAQ, the stock market for the next 100 years.
Hey, here's that car again.
Oh, yeah.
Wow, they're showing the interior. You like the interior?
I love the interior.
I wonder what it costs.
I wonder what it's called.
We finally got it.
Great timing.
Line 2's down again.
Oh, I can't believe it. This is our biggest contract since we've been partners. Why now?
We knew it was coming.
We need to buy new equipment.
What we need is some serious financing.
Look, we'll talk to the bank. They did help us start this business.
Understanding what you need, helping you make it happen.
This is very impressive. This is good. This is good. You'd be nowhere without me.
Shawmut, know-how that pays off.
Some premium gasolines don't give you smooth performance during warm-up. Some don't give you the highest level of engine cleaning or a full 93 octane. But Exxon 93 Supreme gives you all three.
Let the tiger set you free.
For high performance, rely on Exxon Supreme.
Rely on the tiger.
Eyewitness News continues with Bob Newmeyer and New England Sports.
99% of the time, everybody hates a tie game, but not so in the case of BC's 24-all square-off today in West Virginia. No, this tie makes a statement that this BC team is for real, that they can go on the road against first-class company and get the job done. This is a game they could have and perhaps even should have won, but hey, 24-all not bad. Trailing 7-3, Glenn Foley picked off by Tommy Dorr at the WVU 16. Foley passed for 252 yards. He's second all-time behind Flutie. Adrian Morrell was the killer here, the first of his 2 scores, giving West Virginia a 14-3 lead. He had 140 yards on 16 carries. BC closed the gap. Nice catch here. Clarence Cannon from 19. Nice catch. Then on West Virginia's first possession of the second half, Tom McManus strips the ball loose from Morrell, and the BC offense took advantage of the McManus turnover.
Now it's Dukes. Dukes cutting inside, and Dukes is in! Touchdown, Boston College!
This is a revamped O-line that is really performing well.
That's Shirley. Outside touchdown!
Shirley from 7, make it 24-17. Dukes also had 100 yards. 7.5 minutes to play, though. Murrell again, this time scampering for 34. That tied at 24-all. But if BC has an Achilles heel, it's their kicking game. This would-be winning field goal was smothered, and West Virginia escapes with a 24-24 tie.
You know, we wanted to win the football game. That's why we came to West Virginia, and that was the only thing we wanted to leave with. So, you know, a lot of people are disappointed, but again, we didn't lose. So there are some positives, and we can build on this.
It's not all bad, but it could be a lot better. 5-0 would have sounded a lot better.
All right, Bill Walsh last year at this time was in an NBC broadcasting booth covering Notre Dame. Today he took a Stanford Cardinal into South Bend. Things weren't going so rosy for Walsh when Reggie Brooks cranked in from that yardage, and they led 16-0. But here's Steve Stenstrom for Stanford to J.J. Lastly, and would you believe 33 unanswered Stanford points? That's right, the genius Bill Walsh goes back to South Bend and KOs Lou Holtz 33-16. Lou can only shake his head. Holy Cross and Harvard with the Crusaders looking for their first win. First half, Troy Dixon blocks the Harvard punt. Sean Haley recovers inside the 10. The Cross a field goal out of safety. 5-0 at the half. The offense cranking it up in the second. Andy Fitzpatrick hits Chris Summers down the left sideline. 1.5 minutes into the third. 2-point conversion. 13-0 Crusaders.
Beautiful execution by
Senior tailback Sean Sierra ran for 137 yards today. His first ever 100-yard game. 23-0 Crusaders win 32-7. And the rest, you may inquire. Little riff from the Hotel California, where you can check out any time you like, but you may never leave. It will be the Oakland A's versus the Toronto Blue Jays for the American League pennant, as Toronto beats Detroit to clinch and hopefully put to rest the nonsense that they are the choke masters of baseball. They did it in their own backyard. Joe Carter crashing a 2-run shot to deep center field, and that would be all the offense the Jays would need, because crafty right-hander Juan Guzman pitched 5 innings of no-hit ball to get the win. Dwayne Ward came on for the save. And the Blue Jays, their 3rd divisional title in the last 4 years, the first AL East champ to repeat in more than a decade. You know, for my money, Ned Martin and Jim Woods were the greatest 1-2 baseball radio broadcasting punch I have ever heard. They were funny, at times irreverent, always colorful, never boring. Jim Woods died a few years ago. Ned moved to TV. His play-by-play was tasteful and elegant, with tongue-in-cheek humor in a style that emphasized the game and not his own ego, but no more. Nesson this week notified Nedley that his services were no longer needed, and today he called his last game in the Red Sox TV booth.
It's hard to believe, but I ain't crying, and I have no regrets, and I think it's been fun for me, and I hope it's been fun for you, and I hope it's been fun for all of y'all that have worked with me, because I've enjoyed it.
After the game, Martin told BZ Radio's Johnny Miller that the decision to leave was not his, that Nesson officials told him yesterday this would be it.
No, it's Nesson's decision. They're going to take a new direction or do something different, and I didn't fit into their plans. I don't know what I brought. I tried to be as accurate as I could. In the latter couple of years, things went by. Sometimes concentration left me, but I tried to bring a little humor to the game.
A giant in the business, we wish Ned Martin all the best. The Bees finally ended an exhausting, series of 5 games in 6 nights, losing 4-2 tonight to the Tampa Bay Lightning. Before we rolled the clips, can anybody out there name 5 Lightning players? No? Can anybody name 2 Lightning players? I can name 1. This guy, Ken Hodge, because he used to play for the Bruins before he was traded. Bees tied it at 1 in this feed from Rosie to Ray Bork, as second of the preseason. They tied it at 2 on more pretty passing. Glenn Murray across the crease to Joe Juneau, 2-2, but Tampa Bay grabbed a couple of more goals and they skated off 4-2. Who cares? Means nothing. They start for real on Thursday against the Hartford Whalers. Meanwhile, Celtics past and present gathering tonight in Boston to honor Arnold Red Auerbach on his 75th birthday. Everybody, anybody was there. Bird, Cruzy, Walton, most, the whole crowd. Congratulations, Red. Good luck, Ned.
Star-studded. All right, Numi, thanks a lot. Thank you all for joining us. We'll see you tomorrow.